Hello all. It is March 1st, 2021, and we're going to look at Bitcoin. So, let's talk about what happened recently first, and then we'll move forward. Last week we had this sell-off week, right? This red candle here. And yeah, for the past few days, people have been calling for 41, right? 42, this level here, 42. We didn't quite get it, right? We got 43 and some change. And I'm thinking there were people that missed this move because they wanted lower. When Bitcoin is dropping, people want lower. They're afraid to buy in. Not everybody, but a lot of people are afraid to buy in. And they get afraid of the volatility, right? The 9%, 6, 7% down moves that can happen in a day, or more, of course, 11, 12, and people get afraid, and they always want lower. Um, what I was looking at, and what quite a few traders were looking at, were the divergences. So on the 6-hour chart, we had price closing down, these three pushes down. Here, tiny bit of a divergence, yeah, I was looking at that, even though it's not, a diagonal line going up. I was noting that it was a lot more obvious and pronounced on the 4-hour chart, right? Yeah. Boom. Well, hey, why aren't you drawing? Oh, shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay. Why isn't this moving up? Oh, there you go. Okay, let me draw that little pretty line for you. Here it is. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Right, so I was looking at that, and, I kind of bought in this area. So we got the push up into this area now, right? This kind of area of confluence. Now let's get a little more granular. Talk about where we are and what we might expect next. So, not much resistance met here, along this swing high. It kind of flipped this resistance into support, right? And it didn't really do that with much trouble. Right, see this hourly candle, maybe this hourly candle, but then we just went right back up. And this was kind of a place to buy if you wanted to buy the dip. Now, where does price go next? Nobody really fucking knows, but we can expect some things maybe. All right, on the hourly chart, we see this higher high, but we see a little bit of a divergence, right? Hourly chart could mean a little bit, could mean nothing, right? We saw a divergence here, a couple pushes up actually, and we saw price correct, right? But that's a whole other story. Okay, what I'm looking at now is actually this level here, right? Now, why, you might ask? Well, we've gone up, a decent amount, and I'm kind of looking at this move similar to this move, meaning the structure is kind of similar. We have this bottoming here, and then it's kind of like pretty aggressive price um, movement up, and there are like these similar little structures here. Now, I want to pull up the fib, right? Pull up the fib and kind of see what's going on here. So when price went up, it it kind of dropped down to this level, which is kind of like a 50% retracement, right? Now, I kind of want to see price do that again before I enter any positions. Holy shit, what am I doing? My computer's kind of lagging. All right, let's pull up the fib here. Boom. 50% will be right here on this level. So that's the level I'm looking at. I want to see price come down here, and I'm going to lay in some bids here and hope they get filled. I don't want to chase price here, even though I'm already long. Kind of long here. I put in some bids here for a trade that I got out of, but I also bought in for just longer term holding. So I don't want to be missing the price action here. We're still in a pretty bullish market structure overall when we look back. So yeah, that's my take. One more thing I'd like to do is pull up this daily chart here. I don't really trend. I don't really follow. I don't really trade off moving averages, but I think they're pretty useful as guides. So when we kind of zoom in here, we have the 50 right here, the 50 MA. Since we broke out from around 11K, we touched it here, but we haven't pierced it at all. It's been a pretty significant move up, right? I don't necessarily love to look at the previous bull markets because each one has kind of been different, I mean, I guess the early ones were pretty aggressive, right? I mean, these were just like straight up parabolic moves. The last bull market, I guess, was more of like a trending market, and then it got parabolic here. Or you can argue this whole thing was a parabola, right? Of course you can. I mean, if we look at this whole market here, this bull market here, price, it would pull down to the 50, and then, I mean, here it hit the 200. And these pullbacks are pretty significant, right? And price was hitting the 125, right? I mean, at least it was hitting the 50. Here we saw kind of what we're seeing here. And now the most recent trend, and this, this whole structure here kind of did something similar. This went up and really hit the 50, right? And this is just something I'm looking at, Does this really mean anything? I don't know. But I'm kind of keeping my eye on it, Let's say we do come back to this level, because this is kind of some level I'm looking at, If we do get some more, downward pressure, some more selling off, I'd want to be buying here. I'd want to be buying here. There are a lot of players here, right? We'd still want to keep a bullish market structure, meaning higher low, right? If we tap this moving average, and if that were to happen, probably maybe at some point here, and we'd be higher here. I'd want to be buying that. That's just a level I'm looking out for. So yeah, that's it for now. I'll be looking at where's that level? Let's get a number going, right? We want to look at numbers. 46 and change, right? Right about 47. You might want to put in some bids at 47, all in this area. And yeah, take the trade from there. You can enter your stops a little bit lower. And sometimes the market likes to pierce the levels. Sometimes it just likes to barely touch them. So that's what I'm thinking now as far as how to trade Bitcoin in the next couple of days. Okay.